Welcome to the section on Christmas imagery about family time. Now, to me, family time means a couple of things. It can mean your birth family, your actually mother, father, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandparents, all that stuff. But it could also mean maybe your work family. So it's a dance teacher, the colleagues you work with. And of course, if you're the dance student, your dance family. So family to me is anybody that you share that bond with, that you can trust and feel supported by. So when I use the word family, I don't just mean like family of origin. Let's make it a bit more of an all-encompassing term. So the holidays are about family time, or can be about family time. Now, even if that means that you have a break over Christmas with time away from your dance family, that doesn't mean that in the lead up to that break, you can't make it really about that family time and all the images that come from and the concepts that come from family time. So what is family time really about? To me, it's about togetherness, connectedness, doing things together in a way that is fun and enhances the bond. You get to know each other more. It's quality time. Just going grocery shopping with your mom is not the same as sitting by the fireplace playing Chinese checkers with your mom, where you're having fun and the whole goal of it is spending quality time together. So what does family mean? Well, it means many things, and I'll just share really what it means to me. Family are people who are there to support you. They are your biggest cheerleaders when you're up, and they are also your biggest supporters when you're down. Now, they don't necessarily try to always pick you up. They meet you where you're at. They validate how you're feeling. So if you're in a down mood, your family, they meet you there. It's not like they commiserate or try to keep you there, but they meet you there, and then maybe they help lead you along. Your family supports you. They believe in you. They always see the best in you. They're looking to find how they can support you to reach your highest potential. And with that, that means that you, as part of that family, are giving the same to them. So family, ideally, and I realize not everybody has a family like that, but ideally, family is about the giving and the receiving, the both. So I'm giving to those people that are part of my family, and I'm receiving from them as well. It's that inner and outer. And if we go back to the developmental patterns that I talked about in the winter section, it's core distal. It's who I am reaching out and who those people on the outside are that I'm allowing to come in. So it's about boundaries, who you're letting into your bubble of influence. And I think this is a really great time to strengthen your boundaries. So for up in the Northern Hemisphere here anyway, we've got our Christmas break, and then we come back and it's getting into the polishing and the final stuff before competition season starts. What a great time to really figure out, who am I letting into my boundaries? Who's safe for me? Who's going to support me and be my cheerleader, whether I did a great performance, a mediocre performance, or maybe even a poor performance. If you really solidify the family atmosphere for your students through the use of the imagery, then maybe when you go into competition, the boundaries of who they're letting in, who their influence, who's within that influence bubble, does not include the competition studio down the road, does not include people at school who are unsupportive, does not even include maybe actual family members who are unsupportive. It's only permeable. The boundaries are only permeable to people who are loving and supportive and are a cheerleader and believe in you. That's what I think we all deserve. And to me, again, that's what cultivating family is all about. So an image that I take off from family is the idea of the floor supporting you. So family's all about support, tolerance, understanding, all those things. They're always there for you. They're supporting you. How about thinking of the floor supporting you? So oftentimes we're helping our dancers to reach down and push down and be grounded into the floor. But what if the floor is like a member of the family, and you can feel the support of the floor rising up? I think that actually can be one of the fuels for like that upward waterfall that we have. We are meant to naturally stand upward against the pull of gravity. So really, earth, the floor, the ground, whatever actually is triggering things that send us this way. So to feel the interplay, the relationship between you and the floor is a member of the family. And I tell students that even when they're dancing a solo, it's never a solo. It's them and the floor or the ground. And really, if they're dancing to music, which most is, not all, there's modern dance without it, but it's like always a trio. You, the floor, and the music. You could maybe even go quartet, you, the floor, the music, and the space. A quintet, you, the floor, the music, the space, and the audience. So you're never alone. There's always family supporting you. And wouldn't it be cool if we help our dancers to get this idea that family means support? Okay, it doesn't always have to be in human form. It could be the form music is supporting me, floor is supporting me, the audience is giving to me. Most audience members want you to do your best. Most examiners, most judges at competitions, they do actually want to see you do your best. So let's expand our definition of family, just beyond family of origin, work family, dance family, all that, but then also beyond the humans to be the space around you. We can feel support everywhere if we allow ourselves to see it that way. So bring in the floor, the music, etc. So bring in it all. Think of family as your entire environment and your belief that your whole environment is there to support you. And that feels good. Now, family to me is also about, home is where the heart is. It's heartwarming. And then I'm thinking of sitting by the fireplace. Anytime something is heartwarming or physically warming, I would link that in with, again, family, feeling supportive and warmth in the environment I'm in. Now, you know the difference between when somebody's feeling, you get warm feelings from them, maybe the warm and fuzzies, versus somebody's being cold. And really, that's that boundary. When somebody's being cold, you don't feel cared for. They've put a boundary up, a wall up that's not permeable. You can maybe try to reach out and you're getting nothing back. So maybe you can reach, but there's no receiving, and you can feel that. And there's no giving from them. So there's a boundary there. So if you want to have that sense of my environment supporting me, well, let's use the idea of a fire, a fireplace, warmth. Your warmth, reaching out and connecting to the audience. You can imagine that you have a fire inside of you and the warmth is radiating off you to the audience. You are sharing your warmth just like a fire would share its warmth. You're sharing your warmth and connectedness, willingness to reach out and connect to the audience, or to just even the other dancers in your class or the other dancers on stage with you. Warmth is, to me, part of your humanness. And when I let my warmth and my humanness come out, that's when I'm magnetic to others. So dancers who are worried and concerned and feeling judged by others, when we feel judged, it makes sense to kind of put a wall up against that judgment. So we need to talk to our dancers about turning our fire on, letting our warmth exude, letting it go through the boundaries, and trusting instead of worrying and judging and putting a boundary and being cold. And that's the thing about being a performer, is it's kind of incumbent upon you, the performer, to send your warmth out first, and then you get it back from them. Rather than you're on stage, you're in a cold state and you're waiting to receive from the audience. It doesn't work that way. We, as the performers, it's our job really to go first. So you can talk to your students about that, about reciprocation, like passing a ball back and forth. Maybe you're throwing the snowballs again, but somebody has to go first, and that you as the performer, you have to share your warmth, your light, your energy out first, and trust that it will be received. As a teacher, you can be modeling that. We are the performers within the studio walls there. We are the ones that are having to do our warmth first. So whatever you need to do to stoke the flames of your fire before you go into the studio so that you show up with warmth, I think we need to do that. And I'm hoping that a course like this, giving you all these new ideas that feel fresh and inspiration, that can be the fuel to your fire. So you show up excited to share with the students. So you give first, and then you teach them how to give first to the audience. So it all comes from us. This is why teaching dance can sort of burn you out. And I find it interesting that burnout is also kind of fire imagery. So I've gone through burnout. I've done the full burnout. I should have the t-shirt, where it's the 1.5 years in bed because I'm sick, because I'm drained and burned out. I'll share that story another time because of course there's lots to learn from that. So just know, I know what it's like to be burned out, but that doesn't mean that as a teacher that I'm not having to keep giving. But what it means is that I need to receive from other places. So I'm hoping a course like this, whenever you're feeling burned out, instead of going, oh, I've got to watch more content, I can see there's another hour, oh no, think of it, no, go watch 15 minutes and let it be fuel. Let it be something that sparks you. See, again, another fire image: sparks, fuels, flames, versus the opposite of burning out. Right, so fire images, love them. You might notice that there's a connection there with the radiant dance teacher. Another fire image that I really like, that again kind of links to that whole family fireplace, is if I'm trying to be in stillness and have a balance. Stillness and actually not moving is a myth. Even if you were to stand perfectly still with your eyes closed, we have this postural sway. Usually it's actually a little figure 8. We're meant to be always moving, even if it's just micro movements. That's what actually keeps all the little tiny muscles, let's say, all up the spine there, alert and alive, that keeps us anti-gravity, actually. So we're meant to always have tiny, tiny movements, micro movements, not always the big conscious adjustments. So if I'm wanting to have good balance, I have to allow for movement. So I have my students practice this, like they take a rise and balance in 5th or an open 5th there, and they freeze, they don't move. Feel what that's like to do your balance, and then start doing the tiniest little ripples. And as soon as they do the tiniest little ripple with their arm, everybody's balance gets better. They're amazed. They're like, why is that? And I go, because as soon as you move just a little bit, maybe it's arm, and then eventually we just do fingers. That little conscious permission to doing a small movement wakes up the small, tiny adjusting movements throughout the whole body. Now, what if you actually have to be in the appearance of stillness? Imagination, hello, imagery. So I like to imagine that I have ripples happening. And a really cool one is just almost like the ripples of heat, like the little heat waves that come off that kind of, when you look through them, they just look a little bit blurry. So I can imagine that all of my limbs, my head, my whole body really has like so much warmth. I'm the fire, I'm being by the fire. And there's just these ripples are always emanating off of me. And allowing and imagining that emanation all the time is what keeps the micro movements alive and will keep you balanced. Check it out. If you don't believe me, get up and try it right now and you'll see that it's true. I think it's true. So check it out, see what your students think as well. All right, so that wraps it up for my sort of family time based imagery. Holiday time, Christmas time is family time, and then the bigger theme of all that. All right, enjoy that.